Hey everyone, it's Pooh again. I thought I'd do something a little bit different and I don't know, have a little music intro, even though it still sounds like crap because I still don't have gear. Again, not investing in this unless I know it's going to go somewhere. Anyway, folks, it's been a couple of weeks since I've done a video. Just haven't really had much to talk about, really. And I'm trying to kind of get away from or stay away from things that others have already said. I think it's kind of redundant to basically say or to add any more commentary than what others done. I know a lot of other YouTubers will do that, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. So first, let me vent. It's pretty ironic that I, being somebody who does work around IT of sorts, would allow myself to become so dang frustrated with starting a Google Hangout so I can record this stuff live. Man, that was about a half hour of frustration. It's almost as if I either didn't remember how to get it going, because I remember the first time I tried to do this. Very, very frustrating because I'm like, what the heck do I do? I'm familiar with a lot of Google products and can maneuver them fairly efficiently, but wow, Hangouts is just not my thing. So, man, I'm sitting here flipping off my computer monitor, dropping F bombs all over the place. Sad to admit. Just trying to get this dang thing going. So I had to calm myself down, get a little woosah, and just do some reading. What the heck was that? Interesting. Maybe one of these days I'll be in a less reverberic, if that's a word, room, and you know, get some insulation on the walls or something. But that's probably a bit down the road. Anyway, folks, the reason I come today because I'm going for a little bit of the low hanging fruit in the form of one. Let me get this up here. In the form of one Shaun King, the white dude who would consider himself black, and his ridiculous facial hair. Oh my gosh, this dude's facial hair is just so dumb. Think I'm lying? Hell, let's have a look at Shaun's facial hair. Who does this triple decker facial hair thing? Now, granted, he's got a little bit more hair down here, but really, a triple decker mustache. Oh, sweet Jesus. Okay, but that's neither here nor there. Really, I was just curious because on another account, Shaun has me blocked because I dared ask him something about something that I guess it was Glenn Beck had written on him. Well, anyway, Shaun's got this little thing. He retweeted himself. Are you fucking kidding me, dude? You retweeted yourself? Good Lord. I guess this might fall under the category of self aggrandizing. I don't know. Anyway, so the white guy is going to talk about white privilege. I guess it's okay for him because he has more than likely confirmed his white privilege and now can speak about it. That's just my guess. I don't know this dude personally. Anyway, he has this story about the face eating white guy in Florida and titles this A Tale of Two Face Eating Florida Men, One White, One Black, One Alive, One Not. I guess we can already figure out which one's not. Anyway, let's go to the story here. So Shaun is talking about how Austin Haroof, or however the heck you say this kid's last name, had basically walked into the home of a Florida couple and allegedly butchered them. I'm pretty sure the allegedly is only for legal purposes. It's said that he did this using a switchblade. And apparently, this kid was known to carry a switchblade, as if that flippin' matters. You'll see what I'm talking about later. So apparently, a neighbor had called in 911 after trying to fight off Austin Haroof himself and getting stabbed. And Haroof was biting off chunks of one of his victims' face. Let us pause and recap for a moment. A man known to carry a switchblade, irrelevant, brutally murders a beloved couple, stabs their neighbor, and begins to eat one of them. Pardon me, folks. Hope that wasn't too loud. I don't know. He's wrapped around this switchblade. Now I understand that you know if this dude was an investigative or a real journalist, the fact that he has been known to carry a switchblade would be irrelevant to the facts. Yes, it is a fact, possibly, that he's been known to carry a switchblade. Of course, I haven't seen anything in the stories where anybody else is reporting that this kid has been known to carry a switchblade. I might have missed something. Okay, might have. Either way, all that should be relevant was that a switchblade was used in the killing of this Florida couple. That's all that should be relevant. And here's how you know Austin Haroof is white. Well, um, gosh, call me a namist, if you will, but I think the name Austin Haroof would probably indicate that the guy is white. Now, you know, not knowing all the etymology of all surnames ever in the history of the United or of the world, rather, for that matter, I could be way off. Just anecdotally speaking, haven't come across a lot of black guys named Austin. That doesn't mean there's not one out there. I personally have not seen it, and I'm kind of old, guys. I'm not young. Anyway, police arrived. There was blood, bodies, flesh, weapons everywhere. Yeah, we haven't really gotten details on exactly what weapons were used. Basically, you'll see later on here that he used various implements that were found in the garage of his victims. It became a weapon when he decided to use it to, inflict damage on people. Now, you talk to somebody like fucking Shaun King here, a gun is always a weapon. Doesn't matter if it's just laying on a table, unloaded or not. It's always a weapon. Gardening tools, not so much. Only when they actually are used to hurt people do they become weapons. Whatever, dude. So, according to what Shaun is saying here, the police assessed the situation, demanded that Haroof stop eating bodies. When he didn't listen, instead of shooting and killing him, they tasered him. And when that didn't work, they tasered him again. And then they used the dog to try to get him off. The dog didn't work. So 4 police officers, in spite of clear and obvious crimes that had taken place, in spite of risks to their own safety, decided to surround Austin and forcefully remove them so they could arrest him without shooting him. Okay, yeah, we don't really know if that's why they arrested him. So they could avoid shooting him. Now, there's something you should know about this, and we'll get into this a little bit later. Actually, let me not mention that right now, so we can just continue on. So, not a single shot was fired by Martin County deputies. Now, I don't know why he's bringing in Martin County. From what I've seen, and again, I could be wrong, the county that it was done in, it was in a different county, not named Martin County. I could be wrong, and I could do the research on the fly, but it's kind of inconsequential. It was just in a different. It was in this particular county, okay, and it's coming up to why that is significant. What I know, and what many of you know too, is that had Austin Haroof been black, he would have been shot and killed on sight. 4 young black men. The use of force continuum is regularly thrown right out the window as police start blazing their guns with ferocity and quickness. Oh my gosh. This is the problem I have when Shaun King, cracker that he is, goes off on things like this, because it's almost as if he's insisting that blacks are never apprehended, that they're always just shot. Now, I know he knows that this isn't the case. Again, like it says, it's all about the narrative. It's always about the narrative with cats like this guy, because he knows that blacks are more often arrested than they are shot and killed. Sometimes just shot and wounded. But shot and killed, no, it's not the case. I mean, for crying out loud, if it was really the case that blacks were tremendously being shot and killed as opposed to being arrested, the jail and prison populations of blacks would not be at the numbers that they're at. I mean, is that illogical of me? I don't think so. Not to mention, let's see here. Where did I put it? Yeah, that's from when I was having problems trying to figure stuff out. Here we go. This is a Google search I did. Now, granted, it's just pictures, but there are pictures of blacks with their mug shots being taken. Oh my gosh, you mean they're still alive? Get out. Oh, hell. Here's one of good old DeRay being taken alive while he was protesting in Baton Rouge. Baton Rouge. Sorry. Hey, here's another one of DeRay being apprehended. And another one. This poor fellow right here. This guy, if you know anything about him, this was posted at the Black Lives Matter protest in Dallas, and somebody had posted taken this picture and posted a tweet at this poor dude right here, and said, basically put up that he was a suspect in the shootings. Well, when this guy got word of it, he immediately turned himself in. Guess what, guys? He's still alive. As a matter of fact, he was so still alive that after he was finally released, after about an hour or so, he got up to a news reporter, gave his story, and of course, pissed and moaned himself about it. Don't get me wrong; it was wrong what had happened to him, and the way the Dallas PD reacted to that was also wrong. You'd have to get to it. I'm going off on a tangent right now. Do a Google search on image search on this guy. You can get the story. So here we go, another black guy being apprehended. A lot of these Black Lives Matters protesters have been apprehended without being killed. I haven't heard of one being killed yet. Doesn't mean that one hasn't. I'm just saying. Have not heard of it. So there are lots and lots and lots of instances of blacks being apprehended by police and not shot to death. That number seriously outweighs the number of those who had been killed by police. Seriously. Hey, look. BLM Olympics right there. So, anyway, back to the story. So, yeah, if Austin had been black, he definitely would have been shot and killed on sight. He doesn't really know that. Shaun King doesn't know this. So then he goes back to this story in 2012 of one young black man named Rudy Eugene found on a Florida causeway eating the face of a man he had mauled. I remember this story. I think anybody who wasn't living under a rock and someone paying attention to the news 4 years ago would have known about this deal. So anyway, this guy had attacked somebody. He was on bath salts. I don't believe I need to really tell anybody about bath salts. Again, do some research, no big deal. Let's see, drug people speculated Eugene must have used those, but toxicology reports found no such evidence. Okay, well, maybe. Let's keep in mind, this is not DeRay, but this is Shaun King reporting this stuff. This dude is not an investigative journalist. He does pretty much what I'm doing, only with less research. So let's see. This one went to, let's see, it wasn't that one. Wasn't that one? Was it this one? Sorry. No, that was Shaun King. I can't keep on him calling it Ray. They're pretty much interchangeable because they so look alike. Anyway, actually, let me just do the Miami cannibal attack here on Wiki. So, anyway, Eugene was killed. Okay, he was killed. Let's see. So the Miami Police Department officer Jose Ramirez arrived. Oh, what's this? Jose Ramirez and a Hispanic. Wow. You mean he didn't shoot him? Is it an Hispanic? Anyway, arrived and after doing a double take at the spectacle, warned Eugene to desist from attacking Popo, which was the homeless man that Eugene had attacked and killed and eaten. Eugene ignored the officer's warnings and instead reportedly growled at him, then resumed biting his victim. The attack ended at 2:13 p.m. when Officer Ramirez shooting Eugene once at first and then another 4 times when that proved ineffective. Uh, yeah. So anyway, now the place that this had happened at was around Miami Beach, or he drove to Miami Beach. Yeah, this was in Miami Beach. Now, Miami Beach is in Miami-Dade County. Okay. The other attack that had happened more recently was in either Martin County or Palm West County. The stories kind of muddle up where the location is. Either way, not the same county as Miami-Dade. Okay. Now, this is where Shaun King fails at investigating. Okay. Shaun King mentions nothing in this article here, and you guys can see the web link right here to the article. You can pause the video if you need to and can continue to read. Okay. But he mentions nothing of this, of the fact that these were in two separate counties or what the police procedure in either county is, or procedures are, rather. We don't know if Miami Police, if Ramirez, Officer Ramirez, yeah, his name's Jose, sorry, Officer Jose Ramirez had in fact been armed with the taser, and or if he had only his sidearm with him. Now, I'm not going to argue as to whether or not the police in the Austin Haroof case should have used their firearms instead of trying to apprehend them. I don't know what was going on in those officers' heads, but apparently Shaun King does, because whiteness, right? Whiteness. It's all about whiteness. It's a lie because he's white, not because police procedure in the county that he was apprehended in was different from the police procedures in Miami-Dade County. He doesn't mention a darn thing about it. And this is the problem with Shaun King. He can never give police the benefit of the doubt because, again, it's all about the narrative, right? I'll tell you what, my personal opinion is that Shaun King suffers from a tremendous, tremendous amount of white guilt. And the dude probably had never wronged a black person in his entire life. His parents probably never did. Grandparents, who knows? I believe the bio on Shaun King is that he grew up somewhere in the South. I could be remembering that incorrectly. Either way, Shaun King don't give a shit. He doesn't give a shit about police procedures from one county to the next. He doesn't care to investigate it. All that matters is one dude white, one dude black. Holy crap. And the damn thing of it is I'm not going to bother with investigating it much further myself, because the cops in either case already have the benefit of the doubt in my mind. They have zero idea what the situation was. If in one case, I mean, because you know what, here's another point of difference here between what happened here and what happened with Austin Haroof. There were 4 cops on hand. and the Austin Haroof handling. I've probably already started butchering this poor kid's name. Not poor kid. He's not a poor kid. He's a dick. Yeah, I'm still on it. Austin Haroof. And the case of whatever this guy's name is, Rudy Eugene. 4 cops in one situation, 1 cop in another. Okay. So as far as Wiki is concerned, Jose Ramirez is the only person that happened to arrive on the scene. He might have, there were other cops probably en route, but he was the first one there. In this other case, there were 4 cops on hand, and maybe 4 cops came together and said, hey, we can take this kid. And they did. Jose Ramirez, on the other hand, by himself. So you can see that the 2 situations already aren't that similar. The only similarities is you have 2 people hopped up on synthetic dope. That's about it. Oh, and they decided to eat people. Give me a damn break. And then for whatever reason, now, even though Shaun says 1 white, 1 black, 1 alive, 1 not, he does go on to mention another case right here in Texas, not too far from where I am. Christian Taylor, who was like Haroof, a 19-year-old college student football player. This is a bit of a different case here. Let's see. So this is the case where a young man had decided to break into a car dealership, started trashing the vehicles, and when police arrived, he was not complying with their orders, and so on and so forth. Anyway, there were more than one. There were more than one police officer on site here, but it was this guy right here, Brad Miller, who at the time was 49 years old, and he was actually a new cop. You know, he'd only really been on the street for a few months. Anyway, he broke police protocol, and I believe this was in Arlington. He broke police protocol, shot on this kid not once but several times. Now, he was fired from his position because he broke protocol, but for whatever reason, Tarrant County grand jury decided not to take action against this guy. They decided not to indict him on murder charges. Should they have? Probably, if he broke protocol. I don't know the specifics as to why the grand jury decided not to indict him. At this point, what difference does it make, if you get the reference? So either way, I don't know that the family of Christian Taylor was going to possibly seek out any civil litigation to get him on wrongful death. I don't know where that went. I mean, this is still several years ago that this had happened, or was it? Oh wow, they just recently came to that decision. I believe the the shooting itself happened a while ago. Yeah, it was last year, August 7th last year. Either way, this dude got fired. This poor kid is dead. I don't believe he should have been killed over that. If there were several officers on site, they should have been able to subdue him. But again, in this particular case, I don't know that Arlington police are armed with tasers or if they only have sidearms. Some may be armed with tasers, some may not be. I really don't know. But if there were several cops on scene and he was unarmed, they should have been able to take him. But this isn't a case of, in my opinion anyway, of he's dead because he's black. He's dead because this guy here didn't follow protocol. And that's why this poor young kid's dead. And I keep calling him poor because, I'll tell, Shaun King may have gotten one thing right in this piece of shit that he calls reporting. That neither Austin Haroof or Christian Taylor had ever, at that point, been known to hurt anybody. Of course, you know, when you read the beginning of this article, if you want to call it that, more like a farticle, um, Shaun King certainly did do his best to make it seem like, oh, this is a violent kid because he's known to carry a switchblade. Are you fucking kidding me, dude? I carry a pocket knife at work, Shaun. What the hell? What does that mean? Does that mean I'm violent because I carry a pocket knife at work? Jesus, I'm only violent against boxes and packages that I gotta open. Man, won't somebody campaign for the boxes and the packages because people take knives to them? Jeez. And so, anyway, you know, and this thing with Christian Taylor here, it was just, you know, Shaun trying to, you know, talk about another case where another poor black kid gets shot by the cops. And I don't disagree. This, you know, I don't think Christian Taylor should have been killed. Okay. But whatever. You know, we can't change what had happened at this point. You know, cops fired. Unfortunately, Christian's dead. Um, and there were several cops that could have subdued Christian Taylor, like they were able to with Austin Haroof. Again, the reason why that didn't happen is because one dumb shit cop broke protocol and killed Christian Taylor. Fortunately for Austin, there were 4 cops on hand to subdue him. Okay. Unfortunately for Rudy Eugene, there was only 1 cop on the scene. And guess what? This cop was trying to stop somebody from continuing to hurt another person, even though I believe that the homeless man Popo at that point, or Popo at that point, had already died from his wounds. All right, but Jose Ramirez didn't know that. There's no way he could have known that. Especially if you read this article and assume that this Wikipedia page is, you know, up to snuff, knowing what Wikipedia is, there is a chance that, a very good chance that Jose Ramirez did not have time to, or didn't visually assess anyway, due to everything else that he saw, whether or not the victim was alive at the time. All he knew was that Eugene needed to be stopped, and he did. He stopped Rudy Eugene from continuing to eat human flesh. There you have it. So again, guys, it always comes back not to what the truth is or what the extenuating circumstances are. All it comes down to with Shaun King is that there was a case of one guy who was eating people who happened to be white, and another guy who was eating people who happened to be black. Why does the B get capitalized in black, Shaun? Trying to say white people are less than blacks? Oh, white guilt. Anyway, one dead, one alive. But then he talks about another black person that is also dead. He can't even be honest in his damn postings. So on a side note, this was something else I saw. My girls and I are huge Spider-Man fans, and we're so apt that Zendaya is going to be the new Mary Jane. So cool. Yeah, it's cool. Who cares though? Who cares besides you and maybe other blacks and other SJWs? You know, I could give 2 shits. Now, I will miss seeing a redheaded Mary Jane Parker. I won't miss one being played by Kirsten Dunst. That's for damn sure. You want to talk about, oh man. You don't think any problem with calling her the crappiest Mary Jane Parker or person to ever played Mary Jane Parker is that so far she's been the only live action Mary Jane Parker. But man, it was so bad. So bad. That was probably, outside of Spider-Man 3 existing, that was probably the worst thing about those Spider-Man films. I can't think of anything I've seen Zendaya play. And I probably have. I just can't think of it right now. I'd have to go look at her IMDb. Sorry, guys. It's just some filler at the end here, even though I've been on the feed for a while now. Anyway, game changer, whatever. You know, I don't see a point other than trying something different for making Mary Jane. a non-pale faced redhead, and I don't have a problem with it either. You know, I mean, if we want to talk about real quick about my personal feelings of biracial in the realm of black with white, I'll be honest with you. I had a problem with it, but I used to have a problem with it. Sometimes it still gets in my craw in the back of my mind, but I have to tell the back of my mind to shut up because it's none of my damn business. And besides it not being my damn business, there is absolutely really nothing wrong with it. There are probably things stemming from, the opinions of a couple of family members when I was a kid. At least one of them, I was thinking maybe he just didn't like black kids and didn't want me playing with black kids. Didn't understand. I played with black kids when I was younger. I don't play with black kids now because that would be weird. Maybe at least strange black kids. I mean, kids who don't know me or I don't know. Anyway, but you know what? Love is love. And I don't want to go into anything else further than that because that could bring up a whole nother subject. Anyway, and I don't have a problem with Shaun King being married to a black woman. He's got his wife is beautiful. He's got 3 beautiful kids. It's just unfortunate for him that he's an ugly person. He's a racist, white guilt-ridden, ugly person who finds racism in every damn aspect of his life. It's great that if he has acknowledged his white privilege, that's great. I think you're an idiot for it because guess what? Like it or not, you don't really have white privilege. Because guess what? With all that white privilege, you're still a flippin' moron. Absolutely. So anyway, back to Zendaya. It's cool. I don't know who she is. At least I don't think I do. And I'm okay with it. Like I said, I'll miss the pale faced redhead because I like redheads. I've always been fond of the gingers as far as females go. But I really don't have an opinion on Zendaya. It's okay. You know, my problem would be if she was cast because it was an affirmative action. Oh, you know what, guys, we got to have a black actress now. Whatever. I mean, why don't we just do like what the Fantastic Four did, and have the Parkers, Peter's parents and his aunt and uncle be black, and they adopted a white kid. I mean, heck, if you want to get really crazy about it, and I would definitely face palm at that because I'm sorry, that's completely unnecessary anyway. Okay, guys, so that's pretty much what I have to say about Shaun King in this particular instance of him reporting on the face eaters. The Eaters of Men. Who was that? That was Michael Crichton, and then got turned into, I guess, a okay sort of movie called The 13th Warrior. But anyway, I wish I could say I could admire the place where Shaun's heart is, but I don't think for a second that his heart is in the right place at all. None. Zero. But you know what? It's whatever. It really is. And to that, folks, take you out with a little music, and we'll catch you next time.